Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and what a show we have here tonight. Breaking news this morning, Aaron Rodgers' dreams come crashing down in a blaze of glory. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they might be grooming their future quarterback right now down there in Tuscaloosa, and much, much more news to get into. I appreciate each and every one of you joining me here tonight. Got a couple of things on the docket here. Gonna wait for some more people to come in. Chad Schrader, welcome back. Sup, I think it's time to move maybe towards trading for Derek Carr. Rodgers might as well move into the Kardashian house and be a part of their show. No, I don't think Rodgers is going to move there. Rodgers totally doesn't love the camera and attention on himself. You're crazy for thinking that, Chad. You're absolutely nuts if you think Rodgers, of all people, is some attention media seeking, bloodhound. You're crazy. Get out of here. Gonna wait for some more people to get in here. Some interesting news right before I went live. Apparently, former Steelers quarterback, let me get back to it here. Yes, former Steelers quarterback Byron Leftwich is joining Deion Sanders' staff at the University of Colorado, per Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports. So, congrats, Byron, on your new job. Leftwich heading back to Colorado to join primetime Deion Sanders. Interesting. Happy all of you could join me here today. As always, please be sure to like and share this stream. Help get some more viewers in here. Also, feel free to comment like Chad just did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications. So, we are going to start things here today with the breaking news that came down this morning. Poor little Aaron Rodgers. His dreams have gone up in flames, and he cannot anymore have the want of following in the footsteps of his mentor, Brett Favre. The dreams are gone. They have came crashing down. A report came down early this morning from NFL insider Tom Pelissero that the Minnesota Vikings have rejected multiple trade calls recently about their former first-round pick from just last year, J.J. McCarthy, who, of course, missed all of last season with a torn ACL. They've rejected any and all trade calls for McCarthy and have told other teams that they're moving forward with him as their QB1. Now, to go along with that, Pelissero added that they are not, I repeat, the Minnesota Vikings are not looking at Aaron Rodgers as one of the veteran quarterback candidates that they're looking to sign behind McCarthy. So that pretty much makes it that unless Rodgers wants to wait and wait and wait some more to see if the Vikings have a change of heart, he is down to the three options that pretty much everyone, you, I, everyone else, in this whole NFL football universe thought. He's down to the three options of either the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Giants, or good old retirement. And as much as I hate that they're still considering signing Rodgers at this point, to go along with the Rodgers news today, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Steelers writer Jerry Dulac is reporting that the Steelers do currently have a one-year contract offered to Rodgers, but they are preparing to go in a different direction should Rodgers choose to go elsewhere or an agreement cannot be met. As much as I hate that they're still considering adding Rodgers at this point, I mean, it cannot be, the Steelers' priority anymore adding Rodgers. You cannot let a 41-year-old prima donna quarterback who's going to be here, 1, maybe 2 years at most, delay what you're doing this offseason any longer. Rodgers cannot mess up this offseason, a very important offseason, I may add. You're looking to get a defensive tackle to replace Cam Hayward here in a couple of years. You're possibly looking at a quarterback, looking to maybe get another wide receiver and whatnot. But you cannot let this 41-year-old prima donna, attention-seeking, ayahuasca drinking, conspiracy theorist delay what you're doing this offseason anymore. You can't have him holding you up. But Steelers are thankfully preparing to go in a different direction if an agreement can't be met per Jerry Dulac. And also going back to the whole Rodgers possibly waiting for the Vikings to have a change of heart. The ties should be cut already because according to Schefter, Rodgers is, quote, in no rush at all to make a decision. So looks like the rumors and speculations that Rodgers could be taking this thing up to and possibly even past the draft could be true. Chad back in here. Byron Leftwich, you should have came to the Steelers and coached Rudolph. Hell, at this point, he could have been backup. I'm sure Byron still got, a couple more throws left in him, like Ben said. Hell, maybe you get Charlie out of the, announcer's booth for preseason games with Pompiani. Put him down on the field. Maybe Charlie Batch still got a couple of throws left in him. But you know what, Byron, I think, whatever role he's getting into out there in Colorado, I'm sure it's going to be, good for him. I'm happy for him that he finds another job. But, focusing on the main thing here, focusing on actual realistic quarterback options. Rodgers, his dreams are crushed. I feel so sad. Now make your damn decision. Either you join the Steelers, take Cam's Hayward's word for all of Steelers Nation. If you want to be here, be here. I'm sure you have a private jet. Get your ass to Pittsburgh tomorrow and join the team already. Cam speaks for all of us. If you want to be a Steeler, be a Steeler. If not, all due respect, F off. But, it's down to the Steelers now, down to the Giants. I mean, that possibility is still there, though. I think they're leaning more towards Russ right now. But, I mean, Rodgers still has, I think, a house like 20 minutes away from MetLife Stadium. So, still a very possibility he could go back there. I think he even got renovations done to his house. So, that might be something that, he keeps that house even if he does sign with the Steelers. But down to the Steelers, down to the Giants, or retire. Then you can have all the time in the world to walk your beach there in California, where I'm sure you had a photographer from TMZ or whatever the hell publication just waiting there to take a picture of you in your towel and your freaking still wire earbuds and whatnot, probably listening to whale songs to heal your Achilles or whatever the hell you do. But you know what? Sick of this Aaron Rodgers stuff. His choices are finalized. Make a decision. If I'm the Steelers, you give him a hard deadline if you're really serious about adding him, saying, Rodgers, need a decision by this date, or else we're moving on with Mason. We're signing someone else, like freaking bringing Russ back or trading for Joe Milton, taking a quarterback high in the draft. Just give Rodgers a hard deadline. Say, this is the date. Need your answer by then. If not, move on from him. Then you save yourself drama with, whatever else quarterback you bring in at that point. Now moving on to a topic that I'm really excited about right now. Among this insanity of the Aaron Rodgers saga, pretty much every single Steeler fan, including myself, are starting to eye up draft prospects in this year's draft class to have some sort of hope for the future of this franchise. Even though it's a weak quarterback draft class, there's bound to be at least one or two hits in there, and that's what pretty much all of Steelers Nation is looking into right now. Well, with all that said, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they may have a quarterback that is at the top of their list, and that quarterback is Alabama QB Jalen Milroe. Now, from reports last night, Alabama held their pro day today, but before that, last night, Steelers had a quarterback trifecta of Steelers GM Omar Khan, head coach Mike Tomlin, and quarterback coach Tom Arth. They hosted Milroe for a dinner last night before Alabama's pro day today. So with that, it's clear that the Steelers love this guy because that now makes 3 different occasions in which the Steelers have met with Milroe personally. They met with him first at the Senior Bowl back in January, where Mike Tomlin has his hands on the Senior Bowl more than any NFL coach in the league. They then met with him formally at the NFL Scouting Combine, where Milroe performed there as well. Didn't run a 40 there, but he still was there. Steelers met with him then. And, of course, now you add in the dinner. So that now makes 3 different occasions in which the Steelers have met with Milroe. And, as a Steelers fan, watching the drafts over the last couple of years, you take these things with the utmost importance, because the Steelers, they do, when they really like a guy, show their hand that they really like this guy. They're not using it as a smoke and mirror tactic. They're saying, hey, we like this guy. We're going to take him if he's there at the round we think he should be taken in. Now, is Milroe a first-round draft prospect? Absolutely not. But I'd be very happy if the Steelers take him in the rounds I'm about to say here in a second. So, yeah, it's clear that they like him. Also, going along, something to keep an eye on that they might like Milroe also is that Tomlin also chatted at Alabama's Pro Day today with Bama head coach Kalen DeBoer, probably to get, a coach's view of Milroe, how he is with the team, what's he like as the person, what are his study habits, all that. So Tomlin is getting it as close to stalking this quarterback as he possibly can. I mean, at the Pro Day, Milroe ran an impressive 4.37 40. Not shocking there. He is an absolute blazer, fastest quarterback in this draft class. So he ran a 4.37 40 this afternoon, and afterwards said that he thoroughly enjoyed having dinner with Tomlin and the Steelers last night, in that he grew up watching AFC North football, and that should he be a Steeler, he's going to make the most of his opportunity. Tomlin has got to love hearing that from this kid, and probably shoots Milroe up his personal draft board more than anything. So, I mean, now I have been very, very vocal on the Steelers, on thinking that the Steelers should draft Mississippi quarterback Jackson Dart, but Milroe, I'd be A-okay with as well. I mean, sure, he's got things to work on, accuracy being the biggest one of them, but he's got the mobility and the physical traits that with a little bit of tinkering, he could potentially be an elite quarterback in the NFL. Now, how people used to and somewhat still call Justin Fields an unpolished version of Lamar Jackson, I think of Milroe as one of those types of NFL quarterback prospects. You hear the comparisons. I'm just saying, he's not Lamar Jackson. He won't be Lamar Jackson. He never will be Lamar Jackson. Jackson is a one of one, and that's hard for me to say as a Steelers fan. I mean, Steelers have had his number, but he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So, I mean, if you can even get 50% or 75% of what Jackson is in Milroe, you got to take that chance. So, if the Steelers, stick by their plan of taking a very good defensive tackle in the first round this year, getting that replacement for Cam Hayward one day, hopefully long down the road in place, then Milroe would be more than a worthy investment somewhere between the 3rd and 5th rounds. Should he still be on the board? I mean, he could go in the 2nd, but if Milroe's there in the 3rd or 5th round, you got to take him if you're the Steelers. If the Steelers do take him in that range, I really don't see any way that it could be a bad pick for the Steelers. I mean, best case scenario is that you coach up Milroe's deficiencies, which are things that can be taught. Accuracy is something that can be taught, technique and improved on at the NFL level. Look at Josh Allen. Not comparing Milroe to Josh Allen, but Allen couldn't hit the broadside of a barn when he came into the NFL. Now he's one of the more precise passers in the NFL and got a handsome payday just a couple of days ago to go along with it. The best case scenario, Milroe improves in his deficiencies and he becomes that franchise quarterback that the Steelers have been looking for since 7. Now, the worst case scenario is that he remains a project quarterback beyond this year, but no worries. Your long-term plan is still intact of in your own city of Pittsburgh in 2026. You trade up in the first round of next year's draft, in which the quarterback class is much, much better, and you take Arch Manning or Drew Aller, whatever the case may be then. So, I mean, Steelers, somewhere between rounds 3 and 5, you take Jalen Milroe. I don't see a downside to that. What say you? Please don't hesitate to comment in the chat here. I'd appreciate it. Let's go here to some of the comments. You know the deal. I believe this is a first-time commenter here. I appreciate it. You know the deal. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Rodgers literally trying to be Favre, but not even close to as good. Just retire, bro. Agreed. I mean, he's still got the arm somewhat, but everything else that he's been known for, everything else in his repertoire has disintegrated to the point where it's a shell of himself at best. So, I mean, yeah, he's literally trying to beat Favre. He's going to carry this whole saga as long as the attention is on him and solely on him, with, the sort of no man's land between the combine, free agency, and then the draft in late April. Rodgers is going to carry this thing out as long as he possibly can, and then he'll make a decision. Then I hope it's retirement or the Giants. I don't want him. He's going to bring more harm than good to this team. I don't care if, we're going to compete with him. Anything less than a Super Bowl is not worth the investment on bringing in Rodgers. Jonathan Harvey here. Resign Russ and draft Will Howard if you can in the third. Tomlin has to want Aaron. Aaron will wait it out for a while, it seems. I mean, I think Tomlin's one of the more influential guys in wanting Rodgers. We all know that they've flirted throughout each of their respective careers. I hope Tomlin doesn't want Rodgers. I hope he's, we just talked about Milroe. I mean, I hope he's more interested in drafting a quarterback than, picking up Rodgers at this point. Re-sign Russ. I mean, I could live with re-signing Russ at this point, especially if you draft Milroe. You got what used to be one of the best mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, and Russ teaching up a young Jalen Milroe. I'd be okay with that. Will Howard, though, I mean, I could be talked into it, not in the third round. In the third round, you're still looking to add a defensive tackle or, maybe a corner if there's one of the great ones still there. You're looking at running back at that point in the third round, especially if you don't trade back and recoup a second round pick that you traded for DK Metcalf. So no quarterback unless, it's someone who blows you away in the third round. If that's not the case, set in stone right now, Steelers are taking a defensive tackle and a running back in the first and third round. You can have a talk amongst yourself as to, when each position will be taken in what round. But, right now it's defensive tackle first round, running back third round, and then you can look at quarterback and corner and wide receiver and everything else beyond that. John Harvey, Milroe shouldn't bother with Pittsburgh. Why? I mean, Milroe will be Milroe. What happened to the Tyler Shuck love? I love Tyler Shuck. I didn't say anything about Tyler Shuck. It's just, I think Tyler Shuck is one of those guys. I'm sure he can be a great quarterback. He's got the size and the arm. I mean, age is going to scare off some people, but at this point, I don't think Pittsburgh's really going to care about the age of a rookie quarterback as long as the dude can ball. But, I mean, I love Tyler Shuck. I'm not dissing on Tyler Shuck whatsoever. I'm just saying, I don't think Shuck is going to be there if in the third round. I think Milroe still does. I put Milroe in the camp of like Quinn Ewers and Dylan Gabriel and whatever, all those, SEC Big Ten quarterbacks that are going to be picked up in the third round and beyond. So I still have love for Tyler Shuck. I just think, in that space between the first and the third round, he's going to be gone. Referring to media rumors about Tyler, not you, sir. I mean, hey, it's legit. Analysts, it's not media rumors. You got draft analysts. One of my favorite draft analysts that I like to cite quite often here, Matt Williamson, works for the Steelers. He's a big Tyler Shuck guy. I mean, dude's 6'5". He can move a little bit. He's got the arm. I mean, at Louisville. Not sure how much production you're going to have there, but I mean, I'd be cool with Tyler Shuck. I definitely think that these analysts are, looking at, they have insiders with teams, and they're definitely, taking what they hear from those teams and implementing it into their mock drafts and all that. And Tyler Shuck going in the second or third round should speak volumes. Okay, let's move on to another Steelers segment here real quick. Steelers did propose a new league rule. Of course, the period for teams to submit rule changes opened up today, and Tom Pelissero reported the Steelers proposed a rule altering that allows teams to have direct contact with free agents and set up travel necessities during the negotiation window. So going back a week ago now to the beginning of free agency, Monday, the legal tampering period opened up before NFL free agency deals could officially be signed on Wednesday. So the Steelers are proposing that a proposal for 2025 that would allow for teams to conduct a 1-hour video call with an unrestricted free agent during the 2-day negotiation period and arrange travel after an agreement of terms and before the start of the new league year. So that's basically the Steelers, I think, just saying you have your legal tampering period. That's implying that there's an illegal tampering period. So the Steelers are saying, why not just go full blown with this legal tampering period, allow teams to have, all the clearances in the world to talk with unrestricted free agents. I got the whole summary brought up here now. 2025 club resolution proposal summary by Pittsburgh to permit clubs during the 2-day negotiation period to have one video or phone call with a prospective unrestricted free agent and his player agent. Of course, teams only allowed to speak with the agents right now. 2, permits clubs to arrange for the players' travel upon agreeing to terms with a prospective unrestricted free agent. Travel cannot occur until the beginning of the new league year. So that's the Steelers' proposal. There are also some other, rule proposals out there today. Getting to some here. Washington asking that clubs be permitted to make a qualifying hang on. No, this one's from Washington, to permit clubs that may qualify for the postseason to obtain scouting credentials for 2 consecutive games, week 17 and 18. There's some sort of kicking ball rule from Baltimore and Cleveland and all that. Green Bay, they officially made the proposal to ban the tush push. Don't see that getting banned. Philadelphia Eagles just run it better than anybody at this point. Don't see a real reason to ban that. Then there was one more I had on the top of my mind. I can't find it right now. I can't find it. But yeah, so Steelers make a proposal to increase, their ability to contact unrestricted free agents. And just some other Steelers news going on right now. Ike Taylor, former Steelers corner, his son Ivan is a freshman down there at Alabama. Of course, Ike was down there talking with Tomlin today. So Ike had his son Ivan meet Tomlin today at Alabama's pro day. Of course, Ivan's got a couple more years in college, but you saw Joey Porter Jr. get drafted. A lot of people called it a nostalgia pick. Don't be surprised here in 2, 3, 4 years when you hear with whatever pick in the 2028 or 2028 NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select safety Ivan Taylor from Alabama. Don't be shocked in the least bit when you see that kid in black and gold one day. Here's the other rules. Going back to the rule changes. So Pittsburgh had their proposal. Detroit proposes to eliminate automatic first downs on defensive holdings and illegal contact. Green Bay banned the tush push. Philadelphia implement playoff overtime structure in the regular season. Detroit, two of them here, allow wild card teams to be seated above division winners, and Detroit add one injured reserve slot to the 90-man offseason roster. So those are pretty much the big hitters on rule change proposals that came out today. Steelers made 3 signings official. Of course, the big one, safety Juan Thornhill, signing a 1-year contract. News on that came down 2 days ago. Love the Thornhill signing. Pretty much a younger, cheaper, bigger DeMonte Casey replacement. Also, he's going to get number 22 back. So the vacancy for the number 22 left by Najee Harris, that number will not be cold very long. Also, Steelers made 2 more signings official. Daniel Ekuale, defensive tackle, 26 years old, I believe, from the Patriots. News of that came last weekend. And a signing that they announced that I didn't really know about until now. Steelers signed another defensive tackle, Ezezi Otomewau. I butchered his first and last name. Ezezi, first name, last name Otomewo. Looking more here at Otoemo. Let me pull up his Football Reference real quick. Pro Football Reference database. He's only been in he was drafted in 2022 by, I think, the Jags, if I'm correct. Oh, no, it was the Minnesota Vikings. So he was drafted in 2022 by the Vikings, then spent, I think, the last 2 years with the Jags. 26 years old, 6'5", 282 pounds. He played in 4 games last year with the Jaguars, started 2 of those games, had 1 fumble recovery, 4 combined tackles, and had half a sack. So another rotational piece, might even just be, a camp body for Latrobe. But, maybe now that he's with, I think one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL, Carl Dunbar, maybe he can get more out of him. I think he was a 5th round pick, if I'm not mistaken, in 2022. So Steelers make 3 signings official. Byron Leftwich going to go out to coach with Deion Sanders in Colorado. Ivan Taylor, son of Ike Taylor, met with Mike Tomlin. And I think that does it all for the Steelers news today. So we're just now back to waiting for more stupid Aaron Rodgers news and see if the Steelers really do love Jalen Milroe to take him in the draft in April. Some Penguins news, not much there. Penguins played last night. We're up 2-0 heading into the 3rd period against the New York Islanders, and the Islanders scored 4 unanswered. Pens lost 4-2. Just an ugly 3rd period from them. I don't blame it on Tristan Jarry. Jarry was phenomenal again. Some news lines from that game. Joona Koppanen was recalled on emergency basis from the AHL. I think he played, a couple of games last year for the Pens, but he was recalled on emergency basis from Wilkes-Barre. I believe he slotted into the lineup for Emil Bemstrom, who was either sick or injured, And Crosby scored the other goal for the Penguins. Koppanen scored his first NHL goal. Crosby scored the second goal for the Penguins. And with that, that was his 1,670th career point as a Penguin. that had him past Wayne Gretzky for fourth most points all time with one franchise. So congrats, Sid, moving up record boards game by game, it seems like, and just still amazing that he's producing and playing at the level he is at 37 years old. And as for some Pirates news, Bucks played this afternoon. It wasn't a televised game. I don't even remember the score that they lost by to the Tampa Bay Rays, to be honest, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is some very concerning news this morning. Pirates manager Derek Shelton said that Jones informed the Pirates he was experiencing discomfort in his right elbow on Sunday after his most recent bullpen. Pirates senior director of sports medicine Tom Tomzich informed reporters today that after Shelton's press conference, the club performed medical imaging on Jones and is currently waiting a second opinion. And that last line right there is the most concerning out of all of this. Awaiting a second opinion, that makes everybody think the worst, that it is something Tommy John with Jared Jones. You hope and pray that it isn't. We were waiting, hoping that this was going to be a perfect year where you get Jared Jones and Paul Skeens together on the MLB roster for a full year, and you can see that dynamic duo, two-headed monster, together for a full season. And now with this, you're holding your breath, hoping that it's something a minor with Jones's elbow or something that isn't going to hamper him too long. Bucks are about to start the regular season here very soon, so the start of the 2025 season for Jones is very much in question now. I would think that, he doesn't, start pitching immediately. I think he's going to miss a little while, with Jones, smaller pitcher, no offense. So he's prone to these kinds of injuries. Just if I'm the Pirates, I should say, you got Skeens, Mitch Keller, Andrew Heaney, Bailey Falter, and then you can rotate in whoever you want from AAA, bring back Johan Oviedo off of IR, bring up Bubba Chandler. Just from the Pirates, don't rush this. It's just the beginning of the season. Just give Jones all the time that he needs so that he can get back as soon as possible in the regular season. Of course, Alex Stumpf here, Pirates insider for MLB.com, added Jones will miss his final scheduled start of spring training, which I believe is coming up. Bucks are off tomorrow, and then they got a couple more regular season games before the season begins. So, just scary, worrying news. Jared Jones possibly missing the start of the season. Hate seeing stuff like that. Pretty much the main goal with spring training is to not only shake off rust, but just get everyone healthy for the regular season. Doesn't look like that's going to happen now. So Jared Jones will join Spencer Horwitz as, key players to this Pirates team that are probably going to start the year on the shelf. And with that, I think we're going to call it a night here. No new comments, but I appreciate each and every one of you who joined me here tonight. Joined me for this live stream. Just scrolling here for some more news, if there is any. Of course, the Byron Leftwich news right before we came live. This from Jordan Schultz. Sources have indicated that the Steelers are fine waiting for Rodgers to make a decision, and money has not been an issue. Money was never the issue. I think that's been obvious this whole thing. I mean, I'd still give Rodgers a hard deadline. I'm not waiting around for a 41-year-old prima donna who's going to be here for no more than 2 years to I'm not having him distract us from other things this offseason. And another thing, going back to this Jalen Milroe thing, is that I would like to think that this is the Steelers absolutely in love with Milroe and that they're considering taking him as a project quarterback in the middle rounds. But as much as I say that, also got to say that this could mean the complete opposite. The last time the Steelers did something like this was in 2022 when Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett, that draft year, reports are where Steelers loved Willis and then they ended up choosing Pickett over him. Again, I think that was just, the hometown kid bias and, the Steelers being paranoid of making the same mistake of passing on a Pitt quarterback again. So I take that with a grain of salt, but also some Pirate news. Pirates have a couple new food items coming to PNC Park this summer. One of them, one that I will certainly be getting when I go to a game, popcorn bats. Loved seeing that. Also some other interesting food items, Polish cannonballs, and some other food items I don't really remember. I wouldn't even know where to find the article on that right now. I hope they still have I hope that they will eventually bring back the Renegade dog. I think that was just a 1-year thing. And that approved the taste test. Just, hey, give me a popcorn bat and do not take away the pulled pork pierogies out behind center field at Manny Sanguine's grill out there. I just want that. And I'll be very happy. Also some Caliente's pizza. Just some more good food coming to PNC Park. And no more new news as of right now. Yep, 4.37 for Milroe at the Combine. Pretty much the closest thing. Steelers fans, you were begging for Justin Fields this offseason. I was too. Well, you want the closest thing to Fields in the draft? Here's Jalen Milroe. Yeah, showing some of Jalen Milroe's interceptions. Of course, accuracy, one of the his questions and deficiencies. I'm watching a video now on Twitter. Some of those, at least 2, they're all 11 of his interceptions. Well, the first 2 I watched hit his receiver in the hands. So got to take everything you hear if you haven't, seen it with your own eyes. Hold off at least a little bit of judgment. So, okay. All right. With that, thank you all for joining me here today. If you would please like, comment, and share this video, this live stream, I should say. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified when I go live. I appreciate it very much. Thank you all for joining me again. Hope you all have the good rest of your evening. Not a real big sports evening. Bucks played this afternoon. Penguins, they're off tonight. And no real new Steelers news. So, I guess March Madness it is. Thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night.